The moment her words cut through the music, everything inside me went still. He's just the stepdad, not family. She said it loud enough for the table to hear. The laughter didn't stop, but I felt the silence underneath it, the kind that screams louder than any insult. I sat there, my hands still folded neatly over the tablecloth, my tie perfect, my smile polite. Years of discipline teaching me not to react, not yet. My daughter's wedding, her day, and I wasn't going to ruin it. At least, that's what I told myself. But inside, something shifted, something final. I watched my ex-wife, glowing, confident, the queen of her social circle, pour herself another drink. Her husband behind her, pretending not to notice the way she kept glancing at me. Or maybe he did notice. Maybe that's why his laughter felt so forced. My daughter, radiant in white, looked happy, innocent. She didn't hear what her mother said. Maybe it was better that way. So I stayed quiet. For now. It wasn't the first time my place in their world had been minimized. But tonight, it was public, calculated. She wanted to hurt me. Not with shouting or blame, but with erasure. That's her style. Always has been. I raised that girl since she was 4. School mornings, scraped knees, late-night fevers. Every little thing her mother was too busy for, I handled. And now, in one sentence, I was reduced to just the stepdad. When the speeches began, I stepped outside. The night was cool, quiet, almost kind. I stood under the fairy lights, hands in pockets, listening to the laughter drift from inside. And then came the voice I didn't expect. Her new father-in-law. He approached carefully, like a man carrying bad news. "Mind if I join you?" I nodded. He looked uneasy. "I overheard what your ex said." He hesitated. "That was cruel." I gave him a small smile. "I've heard worse." He studied me for a moment, then asked, "How long were you married?" 15 years. He whistled softly. "And she still talks like that?" I didn't answer. Some truths don't need confirmation. He sighed, shaking his head. People forget who actually builds things. They only remember who gets the credit. I looked at him then. His tone was deliberate, too deliberate, like he knew more than he was saying. That's when I noticed the envelope in his hand. An hour later, I was driving home. The reception still going behind me. The envelope sat on the passenger seat, sealed but not tight. Inside, copies of messages, photos, dates, her and him, the new husband. It wasn't recent. It started years before our divorce, before she told me she fell out of love, before she convinced our daughter that I had become distant, distracted, cold. She'd rewritten the story, and I had let her, until now. I didn't rage, didn't curse. I just stared at the road. Everything suddenly made sense. The timing, the lies, the manipulation. She hadn't moved on. She'd moved strategically. By morning, I'd already sent everything. To him, her husband, her precious new status symbol. No words, no accusations, just evidence. Hours later, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. When I picked up, it was his voice, the father-in-law. Calm, but trembling underneath. "The wedding's off," he said. I didn't respond. "They're coming to you, all of them, to apologize. Please, stay silent, okay?" I hung up without a word. Minutes later, headlights swept across my driveway. A car door slammed, then another, her. Tears, mascara, trembling hands. She tried to speak, but I raised one hand. Just one. She froze. I handed her back the wedding invitation she'd mailed me months ago. The one that called me family. I kept it, I said softly, because I thought it meant something. She broke. The husband tried to explain, to deny, to shift blame, but he couldn't. The father-in-law stood behind them, arms crossed, eyes hollow. I stepped closer, my voice steady. You told the world I wasn't family. A pause. You were right. I turned and walked inside. Silence filled the house. I sat on the edge of my bed, listening to the rain start outside. My phone buzzed with missed calls, unread messages, apologies, explanations, noise. None of it mattered. Because the truth wasn't revenge. It was clarity. For years, I thought I'd lost because I stayed quiet, because I chose peace over pride. But tonight, silence was the weapon, and it cut deeper than anything she'd said at that table. I stood by the window, watching the rain hit the glass. Somewhere out there, a wedding lay in ruins. A perfect image shattered by the truth it was built on. And I finally felt nothing. Not anger, not regret, just peace. Sometimes walking away isn't surrender, it's closure. And this time, I didn't look back.